All right, and so game two of VMS versus Oxygen. This time on Tomb of the Spider Queen. The bans, VMS had banned Maiev, Orphea, and Guldan. Oxygen banned Azmo, Zera and Hanzo. So what we're looking at, VMS is got the Janers, Maiev, Ragnaros. Though obviously Brewer 2 wanted to play his Naz God. He is mildly famous in an E tier list setting for getting 300 stacks on this map without any issue. As for the rest, Veggies is on a Nubarak. Fake News Nate, without his famous Zeratul, is busting out the Ana. Ebags is on the Janers. Brew is on the Rag. And Seabrisket is on Bird God. Meanwhile, on the other side, Woods is on Nazebo. Happy is on Diablo. KSL is bringing Stukov back. Anners is on Rainer this time. And Imperius is with Kimno. Or is it? Yeah, I'm going with Kimno. Well,
5, 4, 2, 1.
so, comp-wise, this looks a lot more interesting than the last game, where VMS essentially got to play exactly what they wanted, including having a ton of wave clear, two very good level 20 characters in Zeratul and Azmodan on a macro-centric map, and the Diablo main tank to kind of pull it together, especially against the Genji. As long as you line up wall bangs correctly, Genji has a hard time jumping in to get anything done, really. On this end, instead, while there's no dive on Oxygen side, they have a very beefy front line with Imperius and Raynor, and both Raynor and Nazebo get a lot scarier as the game progresses. So this will be an interesting one. And as always, the Stukov wonderful purple silency goop is very good at denying these gem turn-ins and helping out the bruisers. So right now, a bit of faffing about. Nothing a whole lot is going on. Imperius was looking top, and now it turns out they're in bot lane. VMS has not sent anyone to lanes yet. There we go. A minute in. Rag is bot. And it looks like VMS is doing their best at a four-man rotate. Not quite getting there, but it doesn't matter. Oxygen's doing their own four-man. Missing mid-wave already. That's a bit of a surprise. Okay. So, a little bit of dueling. Wow, Diablo walks way far in. This might be a kill. If the Nubarak ease in, it doesn't. A little too scared, but... Oh, Diablo does go down. So... Yeah, no, just... We can back up for a moment. Look at the positioning here. Diablo's here. Janers is here. She is going to represent a ton of damage on this Diablo. Seabrisket has free reign to Q and auto all day with no pressure. Diablo's on the wrong side to start queuing. Best case, they can EQ, but Ana's right there. A Nubarak with shield is almost certainly not going down. And Nazebo is not going to deal very much damage this early in the game, so this is not a fight they really want to take. And they are not backing off. Stukov stops to try and silence, which I do not think is a great call right now, because you want to be backing up towards your towers, because this is where your help lies. This does not a whole lot, except maybe stalls Janers. You can already see Nate with the grenade throw, Seabrisket running around, gets the Q, and then sets up the portal for the kill in a moment. Yep. So even though they think they might have an escape route, the Maiev shows its usefulness. And they all get in to lead them, and even with the zombie wall, they get out no problem. Anubarak has beetles, so there's no danger from this tower. And so they not only miss mid-wave, they lose Diablo and they have to back off. Meanwhile, if we take a moment to this bot, Maiev comes down, Rag and Maiev scare off the Imperius. We're back to a whole lot of pressuring one way or another. Sorry about that. It's not a whole lot going on here. Imperius trying to out-trade Rag? I don't understand quite what the plan here is. This indeed gets chased down, but there's no charge flip. There's not a whole lot of anything. Ragnaros backs off, thinking there may be a gank in their future, but instead Oxygen stays mid. Bruisers are being taken by Jaina and Ana. Not a whole lot happening on Oxygen side. They're kind of just letting them, after that early kill, they've just kind of been letting them have free reign here. Seabrisket gets a little bit of a debate there while still stacking Qs. Speaking of Qs, let's go and take a look at that. Yep, 31 on Arcane Rift. Naz is up to 42 stacks. And Jaina has not had a real big fight yet, so this number is quite low. But also note the Q build. We got Winter's Reach and Frost Shards going on. Oxygen clearing out these bruisers. Taking some poke damage. You gotta be careful. But VMS is not pressing it. Just using it to dump off all their gems and keep soaking all the lanes. So bruisers don't actually get a lot done, although they are ahead in XP, which is a big deal. Kino gets ganked. Let's see what exactly happened there. Kino just doesn't move back far enough. There's a danger sign both in. Kino just walked. Yep, portal. And they just run him down. That was a good sleep. Oh, look at all those poor gems. No one's gone bot to try and get the soak. I'm not sure what Oxygen's doing here exactly. They finished top wave, it got mid, and they just let Rag walk up the wall. BMS is going for a turn in, which they're preventing, but Raynor loses a third of their life. Oh, goes in, takes some more damage. He's going to be able to maybe walk out. There's the portal. Oh my, this is not going well. They're just taking a whole lot of damage. A little bit more careful play, that might have been a kill if Anubarak had saved his stuns and hit them in a better order. But, I mean, on the VMS side, are you really sad? You forced them back, and you got a lot of damage in on them. Meanwhile, your side's healed up by Ana. Ebek clutched out the turn-in. And we have our first web readers.
My red needles descend upon the red team.
Not a lot going on with Oxygen here. They decided to go ahead and defend top. Imperius is once again on his own against a brewer 2. VMS, instead of pushing mid, goes to engage on top. Force them back off, hopefully get some value. E-bag goes in, goes to B. Keeps throwing out some frostbite. Getting a fair bit of damage on Happy. The expanding silence is forcing Anubarak to back off. Can't get a lot done. The Beetles took a ton of hits. The wall's gone, essentially, with one barely standing tower. And now, the Murky Slayer's going to go try and finish it off. Diablo stepped way too far up. But smartly goes all the way to top. So, whoa, that was a risky charge. Nubarak takes some damage but walks down with the shield. Diablo charging in here could have been really bad. Nubarak almost gets wall banged but just walks out. The silence is continually annoying VMS, but he's just not getting anything out of it. Happy to get a lot of damage from this. Honestly, the Soul Shield is the only reason this Diablo is living. Oxygen, so far this map, is more or less the same as Sky Temple. They just take way too much free damage. Their positioning is far too forward for what they want to accomplish. For taking a Diablo, they also don't seem to be all that concerned with pushing and looking for picks, which is interesting because you would kind of expect that. VMS gets a bunch of free turn-ins, they take bots, siege for free, while Imperius duels siege and bot, which takes a crap ton of damage. Seabrisket also goes down to 50% life, but once again, he knows his team is there, there's really no danger. VMS is just playing this wonderfully. If you stop and really take a look, essentially everything from here cutting across to here is essentially VMS's territory at this point. Because Oxygen, every time they step past that imaginary line, they get punched. They may not get killed, but they lose a ton of life. Diablo charges into the no man's land. I don't know. So first strike comes out, Rain comes out. Rainer being the Coon can't help. Diablo tries to get something done, but can't. And Nazebo's getting a lot done. Nubarak chases him in, has the Beetles absorb that damage, but just can't get anything done. Team's too far behind, but doesn't matter. They got 2 kills there. Souls are reset on Dibs, and the Stukov is dead, which means any damage they take won't be healed for a bit here. Nubarak sneaks in the last turn-in. So this will be the second web weavers for VMS. Virtue goes back to tap. And while the rest of them, Mr. Brisket is looking for their next victim. Notably took Polymorph. He wants to see a lot of sheep. Good stun from Nubarak, gets all 4. Not a ton of follow-up, but again, it was all just free damage from Fuse and Anna. Esports is almost certainly gone. Nubarak dives in with ease. Bold. That is a little too cocky. That was a poor play on Nubarak's part. Not one. Oh, the ring into stun into piano from Ragnarok. Nubarak doing a good job body blocking. Oh, Diablo barely gets out alive. They take so much damage, they can't engage. This wall is most likely going down from Web Weavers in the wave. But VMS is hanging around to make sure that happens. And once again, we have a situation where all 3 forts are down, and VMS is just pressing their advantage and getting in some free hits. And now that they're level 13 to 1, 13 to 11, they're just backing out. They go and catch some soak bot. Jane is most likely going to return for mana. Looks like VMS thought about taking losers there, but thought better of it. And they're all following the Janus lead and returning for more mana. Meanwhile, Ana goes ahead and gets some more XP. Mid. So if you're Oxygen, what is your plan now? Take your bruisers. Because you're just looking to get the high. Birdie's scary, but I mean, there's not a lot going on there. Again, miss it. Bruisers just crash into each other mid. Jamie gets botched free. And now things get interesting. Nubarak moved too far up. Ragnar's threw in a piano. Gets a good hit on Raynor. There's no reason for them to go and fight into this. Now that it's 14-13, there's really no need to take a fight. BMS is going to give up a turn in for free. But a sleep is going to stop it. Nubarak dives in, ball, Ring of Frost comes out. Oh god, no. They're stand too long in silence. And this spirit is quite ravenous. And will kill them all. Well, we'll go and watch that one more time. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. Why would you do this, Observer? Why would you do this? What went wrong? Well, the Nubarak guy was ballsy at best, but he knew the portal was coming, so that's not too bad of a play. He gets stabbed. They're through. Ring of Frost to Jaina. The problem is here is that they're clumped, so this silence is going to get a lot of work done, and same with any damage Raynor says. The Lightning Breath's also going to get a lot done. Imperius also... Oh, look at this. Imperius was dead. And then gets saved by the ult. Imperius was dead. That should have been a 3-for-3 trade, but didn't work out. The silence was covered in so much garbage. VMS probably didn't even realize they were taking that much damage. Well, they do get a web weaver turn in, but the thing is, look at where they're showing up. The lanes are so pushed out. This turn in really doesn't accomplish much. It buys them time. But their team, they don't really have enough to get done here. Like, okay, they run around. Yeah, I mean, they're just, again, they're not accomplishing anything. They're just looking for a fight that's not coming. And then there's the fight. And DMS engages on them because they're up to a talent. Davil gets stuck in again. They're going to accomplish anything. A lot of stuns coming through, a lot of stuns. Nubarak escapes. Jaina gets the final hit on them. Look how low they are. Beautiful ring after the sleep. They're all going down. Dukov dies. Raynor tries to run away, but between Portal and Nubarak, it's not happening. That cocoon wasn't needed, but what's interesting is it actually just makes the... What happened with there is it stalled Raynor's death by 5 or 6 seconds, meaning he's now very staggered compared to the rest of his team. With only 2 of them up and Imperius coming back on, I mean, VMS is on boss, that's a given. But like, what are you doing? You can't take this fight. You just group as 5 and find keep. Instead, they're looking to fight. And Reyna comes in. Oh god, yeah. No, this is like That's a good way to describe it. Notably, Ebag takes that wall down. That is
Metal
important.
spiders, destroy them.
So the problem here is, like, what are you trying to accomplish with this? You're down a talent tier still. You didn't even hit 16 during the fight. They have 5, you have 2. Diablo has no souls. This is not a fight you can take. You know, Naz is substantially stacked. That's true. But you can't take this fight and expect anything good to happen. It's just not happening. Best case, Anubarak's not waiting right here, and you don't get stunned and just like instantly stun chained and destroyed. Worst case, you walk in, get stun chained and destroyed, and then Nazebo has to try and escape from a Maiev and a Anubarak, which isn't happening. Imperius is way back there. So the worst case didn't happen, but you didn't get escaped quick enough, so you die first. Imperius runs in. Naz should have ran away, but got baited by his own Imperius. Uses stasis. Stukov, same thing. Runs it in, trying out his team. It's too late. This is Yep. They all die. Block's there. And again, instead of a 5-person, instead of spreading out, getting 16 here while VMS is on boss, and then engaging as 5 even talent tiers at the keep and hoping for the best, or maybe something happens, you get multiple deaths, and there's just no chance. As soon as those 2 die, let alone the 3rd, the game's over. I'm not even describing the fight because it's irrelevant. The boss alone is going to be the fact that they get stun chained here and deleted is irrelevant. Oxygen just... This is a good example of when a team just falls apart. And I don't mean to call Oxygen out as if they're the only ones who have ever done that. But this is a good example of, like, when you make desperate plays and they're not your only option. Sometimes your only option is just to, you know, go for it. And it's very unlikely to succeed, but that's your only option. In this case, they had a very valid option, which was get 16 and fight as 5. Like, even if you sacrifice keep, you can still fight as 5 here at core and have a shot. But instead, because of how they chose to engage, they guaranteed they had no chance to win. Like, just overall, Oxygen just didn't seem to have a plan for most of the game. They just ran back and forth, took some engages, but never hard committed, and then VMS would hard commit and get a pick or 2, back off, and just continue to out macro them, and that added up, and you can see that in the deaths. The only time VMS was ever not favored was when they took the fight for the turn in here to prevent Oxygen. And they got a nice clump into a silence and a lot of spread damage, and the Ravenous Spirit cleaned up, and they got 3 kills for 2. And the Imperius had popped ult and walked away. And they got turned. But the problem was, by then, they had lost so much. That was only a temporary reprieve. It wasn't a turnaround. And then from there, they just got bullied again, and then they lost. They were just never proactive. They never pressured VMS in such a way that they might make a mistake. Never forced them into an error. And without that, it's nearly impossible to come back. Like, unless you're just unless your team's just mechanically superior in a very obvious fashion, you're just not going to win if you're down a talent tier every fight. This is not happening. Especially on Tomb, where the enemy really doesn't need to engage into you unless they feel like they have an edge. Well, thanks for watching. VMS wins 2-0 over Oxygen Esports.